UTK.
Good morning and welcome. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Noah and Cam. My name is Connor, and we are Crown Consulting. To be here today, and we're so confident in our strategic recommendation, so fresh in our mind, feels like we created this presentation 20 minutes ago. Presentation. We have today. Let's look at Borealis. Let's look at the strengths, the contacts, the brand, the employees, the knowledge of the employees. And right now we're telling you to purchase Borealis is a great move for your organization, for you young entrepreneurs. Revenues has you at net income at about $65,000. With a multiplier of 5 in this economy, that'll bring you out about $325,000. Cover the $500,000 loan that you initially are looking for. Now imagine instead of $65,000 in net income, you have $520,000 in net income. That puts you at $2.6 million. How does that sound instead of the $325,000? So what's our primary issue today? After purchasing, grow to maximize its value by year 5. A few secondary issues that I'd like to point out is first to acquire Borealis, we need that $500,000 bank loan, and Noah will walk you through. Second is connecting with new customers. You need new customers in this industry. You want to be profitable, you want to maximize your value to this implementation. And finally, the economy is an issue, but we're going to make. I'd like to highlight the bank loan because it's the most important and with Noah. Next, the entrepreneurial experience that you already have. Mr. Gregoire with your lawn company, you've had that since university, has been very successful. Another strength is the government contracts. With the government, we'll use this to our advantage in the purchasing of Borealis. A few weaknesses is the experience in the auction specifically. The auction industry is something new. However, with the help of the current executives who will stay on after the purchase of Borealis, with their help, you will be personal cash flow. Each of you do not have a tremendous amount of cash flow at the moment. Moving on to an external analysis of opportunities. The government infrastructure. Now what I mean by that is the Keynesian economic. And what we mean by that is if in a bad economy, government should put all their money into infrastructure to make sure it will turn into a good economy. It's very simple, and with the new government and his promise to do this, it's a very excellent time to capitalize on this Keynesian economic theory. Another opportunity is yes, it's not great for all of our investments at the moment. However, with this low dollar, U.S. customers are going to want to start purchasing low-priced goods on auction. Some threats, new competition and online. They go hand in hand. The online industry is growing. It's easier and easier to sell and buy things online. This is a threat. However, with our help, it will not be in the 3 to 5 years with our implementation. Now let's look at the decision criteria. Decrease cost, differentiate from Richie, and profits. That alone does not help. Let's put some key performance indicators to this. We want to have a 9% profit margin, market share, and $520,000 in profits. Now let me walk you through this. The $520,000, if you have that 9% profit margin, that's going to put you at close to 5.5. We'll feel lucky, it's 5.77 to be completely exact. And that 5.7, that equals close to that 6% market share because the industry right now is close to 100 million. You hit each of these points here, you will achieve excellence in the near future.
As Connor mentioned, we want to work with you today on how you're going to grow Borealis because just the initial investment and the current projections aren't going to make up your investment in the long term when you look to sell to year 5 or go public. But how are you going to do that? The first opportunity is to really focus on the appraisal and switching your organization in Borealis towards more of a service provider. Costs, specifically costs tied up in inventory and fixed assets, and utilizing this to decrease your profit margins and really differentiate yourself as a service provider in the industry. The second alternative is expand to the west. This is largely an untapped market by Borealis right now, and there's specifically because of some of the economic conditions. As you know, certain provinces such as Alberta are struggling. However, also certain provinces such as Saskatchewan are booming. And what this results is a changing in assets from hands. Alberta organizations are looking to offload some of the assets that are clouding up their balance sheets, and Saskatchewan, those customers are looking to invest. As an auctioneer, as someone who works, this is a large opportunity for you moving forward. And the third alternative is to focus on a niche market approach. And what this logic is based on is that as you move forward and as you look to sell to one of your competitors in 5 years, as you stated your goal was, you have to do something that they don't. You have to provide some kind of asset that they don't have so that they will give you more in goodwill opposed to just the assets that cheat. So this involves two aspects. Utilizing those government contacts that you've built to start selling as they invest in the economy and in new infrastructure. And the second is focusing on online sales and really utilizing that to capture the US market. This will help you utilize northern US with its low shipping costs, and they get a great reduction on price just because of the dollar, utilizing online sales to reach those customers right away. So if you look at how these, you'll see that by switching to appraisals, you are going to decrease your costs in the sense that your profit margin is the highest out of all the alternatives. And the reason for this is because you're going to have less fixed costs, you're going to opportunity with it. Moving all of your assets, increasing your customers, all of these marketing costs start to add up. And from purchasing Borealis. Borealis has a strong customer base, but it's primarily focused in Ontario. So by moving to the west, you're moving away from what you're good at, you're moving away from where you don't hit the same profit margins. It will allow you to hit that 570,000 mark. Customers, buyers, or sellers. So by utilizing online sales, you can greatly increase your customers, and this is the biggest any other competitors will look for when purchasing your company. They will look for that we don't, and do you have the processes in place and the good relationship with the company. So by going to this business to government approach, by utilizing online expansion and also increasing your appraisals as a way to increase your customers. As you today is we're building connections with customers so that you can grow your business, so you can grow that asset that is your customer list, to be prosperous and profitable into the future, and sell your organization for the money value that you deserve.
Now we've broken down the implementation into a immediate, short-term, and long-term approach. So to begin, in the immediate, we're going to focus on organizational, financial, and sales and marketing throughout this implementation. Now, as you can see, the key issues are going to be addressed, starting with the growth of your company, which is obviously a very important issue. Right now, we believe that the company has great potential, and we want to help your organization reach that potential. So, to begin, again, organizationally, the knowledge retention. The existing management team has a lot of knowledge in this industry, and it's important to continue and keep that in-house. Now, of course, a lot of the existing owners would like to retire and move on and reap the benefits of their hard work. But before they do that, it's important that your organization, the management team that's coming in, works with them in a trainee almost program and shadows them. Make sure you meet their contacts and build those relationships so that they're handed down seamlessly. It's also important to implement management within the existing employees, meeting with them and telling them that everything's going to be okay. The new management, you're not going to fire anyone. You're not going to do a major turnover. You want to ensure that you communicate that you're going to grow the company with them together. The existing team to really grow this organization so that it can reach the potential that it really deserves, as well as invest in analytics in order to grow your organization. Now, how this is going to look is you're going to outsource, but you're going to purchase an online system so that you can track who is using your data, who's using your offering, your source of information. So you can identify who your customers are, how often do they return, and what are they purchasing. So then net marketing strategy to a more direct marketing strategy. So you can identify who's buying large machinery for one industry and who's buying one for agriculture. So you can directly target market them the next time you have a product that's very similar to that. Now in finances, about that in just 1 minute, and sales and marketing focus. And again, as I already alluded to, change management with the existing employees, that's very important so that they're on board and back your organization or your contact. With the fixed assets that you're going to be purchasing at $355,000, as well as cash from each of the three partners, totaling $195,000. This is going to total $590,000 to cover that $500,000 loan. Putting up some of your investments and savings at $49,000 mark, which we are confident the bank will be accepting. Now, obviously, the bank loan is we're estimating at that 5.67 rate, which is known for small businesses to get. Now, in the short term, which is about 2 to 12 months, the organization is going to. So organizationally, you're going to hire 2 appraisal employees. This is very important because appraisals are your touch base with your customers. That's where you really get to do one-on-one. CPAG accreditation, which is very important when doing appraisals. This is going to keep your organization sound, and it's going to give your customers that ease of knowledge that when they're being appraised, there's someone who knows what they're doing and that they're going to get the best value for their product. As well as I said, the initial executives. And this is going to help, you're going to use your key performance indicators to track the appraisal revenue. So you're going to track and see how much you've actually grown year over year and how this business model is doing. We're very confident that you're going to bring a lot of revenue in using this model. Now financially, of course, you're going to have to make those interest payments. We've done some analysis financially that I'll talk to you in just a minute to show your cash flow and how you're going to be able to pay this off, as well as quicker depreciation of assets. So your organization has some fixed capital assets right now. By depreciating them faster in the earlier years, you're going to increase your depreciation expenses. Now this is going to reduce your revenues in the early years, but that's okay because your organization wants to sell at year 5. By depreciating your assets now, creating those costs and expenses early on, that's going to increase your balance sheet at year 5, again, lifting the value of your company when you're looking to sell. Again, sales and marketing, using that data analytics, as I talked about, to really target your markets. You already have that existing contact with the government. It's important to track who's buying from the United States, which companies are coming to your organization, and then which ones aren't. What industries haven't seen your website? Which industries aren't buying your products and your offerings? And then directly target marketing them, showing them that you have those products, you have those products that and increase the breadth and depth which your organization as a that they're investing in. They want to make sure that this is the best valuation. You already have a very credible background, the organization that you're going to buy. It's important to keep that, and you're going to be able to do that. Market your CPP agent. Indicators is U.S. sales. You're going to track how many of your existing revenue and see how south of the border. Now, in the long term, your organization sell to Richie at that $2.6 million mark. We've already talked about it, and then I'll show you the financials of how you're going to get there. And again, this is obviously going to do this by revenue growth. That's your revenue growth to show that you're on track to reach this number. At year 4, you're going to do a full loan repayment, and you're going to increase the salaries. You've worked extremely hard. It's time for investment. We're going to track this by the cash flow of your organization and sales and marketing. You're going to want to returning marketing. So customers, you want to track which ones are coming back, as we already talked to you. This is again through data analytics, and this is again in this 1 to 5 year mark. You want to split your large capital assets and your short. Is that your small assets, you're going to go out and appraise them and appraise the value. And then you're going to offer to purchase them up front. And then, with your new online sales website, you're going to post them for sale. This is going to help increase your cash flow and make it the turnover quicker. You have your actual auctions that come up per year. And that's where you're going to push that capital assets that you're going to be obtaining. You're going to again save those for the long. This is going to help again increase your cash flow and diversify it. This is all going to happen in the 1 to 5. Now, we've done some financial analysis for you. Now, if you look at the top line, that is you can see we have the incremental revenue from this implementation. And then beneath that, the most important number to look at is at $576,000, which your organization will reach at year 5. Again, with a multiplier of 5, you're going to reach that $2.6 million mark, which is what you want to sell your organization to at year 5. And again, this does have a positive NPV of $1.7 million. We've identified 2 key risks, the first being the Canadian dollar. like, or again, reinvest and go into another new business venture. Thank you for listening to us today, and now I'd just like to open up the floor to any questions that you may have.
What we have here is a company is decreasing revenues. If you're planning to grow in the future, I think you need to figure out why the revenues are decreasing currently in the first place. Because if the reason you might continue to have to see decreasing revenues. So do you have any idea of why the revenues are decreasing?
Well, recently, as you know, the key management, there's about 3 of them, took a long vacation for 3 months in the year, and that was a very substantial time away from the business, and that's why the revenue was decreasing. And also, there's certain sales representatives who aren't meeting the quotas just because of, it's a lot of ground to cover. You can only get about 2 appraisals per day, and so we just need to increase the sales staff, which we implemented, and you won't see that decrease in sales.
And you're talking about tax savings. There is less than $20,000 in taxes they're paying each year for, as the revenues are over $1 billion. Make a huge difference, the tax savings, given that they're paying $18,000 taxes.
Yeah, so one of the your whole company held by Borealis, you can increase your costs and get some. You can transfer it to this new segment of your company, which is going to be much more profitable and subject.
Buyers don't have a lot of experience in this particular market. You mentioned that the previous owners were taking holidays. Sure, their committed engagement as you move forward.
Still, it's obviously important. Contract is very important. Right now, one of the existing managers is looking at a 3-year term and one at a 1-year term. In that contract, implement
financial growth strategy.
Question?
Can you explain how you're going to finance your growth strategy over the next 5 years?
So it starts with that bank loan and looking for different government grants. So the first step, and it's looking for grants for that particular person. Go pay off the interest on the $500,000, and at year 4 we suggest a higher $500,000, a little bit more. You don't have that $500,000 loan sitting on your statement.
Do you feel it's reasonable? The bank will not require any principal repayment over a period of 4 years?
That's not necessary is because, as Noah mentioned, you are going to leverage a lot of your current assets and you're paying off the interest at a timely rate. You have a good credit score. Again, because of all the leverage that you've put.
Can we back up a little bit? 500,000. The numbers is how you got. At one point, you mentioned 600,000, and I'm wondering if you or you. Yeah, that slide there. Can you comment on the fixed assets and why you need a $500,000 loan?
the management us about the $500,000 loan, so we just wanted to address how you would approach the bank with that dollar figure.
$1,000 profit before dividends, and using the future profits and a multiplier, we valued the company's goodwill.
Thank you.